Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Daybreak reaction video. This one I'm on a bit of a time limit. I have to go in 4 hours to an actually I'm going to an Elestrals event, which is kind of fun. But that means I cannot procrastinate getting this video out. So this reveal came out 6 minutes ago. I just immediately sat down and I started recording. Well, this is a long one, by the way. 6 minutes and 54 seconds is by far the longest one that we've had. The Ultimate Frost cards are coming in Daybreak. So I myself am a big Frost enjoyer. I really like the Frost decks that we have so far. I've been playing a lot of Chivalror and Frigica beatdown decks. I don't think the deck's very good, but I do very much enjoy the concept of the deck, and I really like Chivalror as a card. So I'm really looking forward to some of these Frost cards. Let's just see what we can get from it.
We've got one of the coolest reveals we've ever done as we are revealing
that was
6
interesting.
new Frost
Ooh, okay, like
right
that.
Here, right now.
It should also be noted from the thumbnail, I believe there were 2 Elestrals that were like silhouettes in the thumbnail. I think one of them, just from the silhouette, looked like a Nexus form of Equilinks. So we'll see if we can actually get that. That would be awesome. If we can get a new Nexuser, that would be awesome. Let's see. Because I will admit, I do play Frigica Beatdown. I do not think Frigica is a good Nexuser. It can at least Nexus, but it can't, like, its effect on Nexus is not very good. Like, Equilinks can pop a rune. Spark It can discard a card from your opponent's hand. Frigica just enchants itself with a Frost Spirit in your underworld, which isn't bad, but only at 4 attack can be pretty detrimental. Obviously, you're supposed to pair it with Mountains of Boreas, but first of all, you have to get to the Mountains of Boreas, and there's so many other Stadium runes being played in the current format that chances are you're not really going to have a good opportunity to actually utilize that. So that's my issue currently with Frigica, hoping to get a bit of a better Nexuser, despite the fact that I think Frigica is one of the coolest cards and cutest cards in the game. I love that card, but its effect could have been a little bit better. But let's just see what we got.
Get ready, Frostcasters. It's about to be crazy. And before
Let's go.
I get to that, do not forget.
Also, Flormine's probably my favorite spirit, so
make sure you guys take advantage of that, as today's the last day to do it.
That is true. Free shipping. I'm not getting advantage of it because I just don't have the money to buy anything, but definitely take advantage of it. Rhynymph. Oh, let's go. Okay. Spy Nymph. I wanna point out, super early in the game's lifespan, I think like just right after Kickstarter edition came out and people started getting their cards, they put out a survey asking a bunch of things, and there was one of the questions in that survey was what are your top 3 cards that you would like to see errata? One of the cards I said was actually Spy Nymph, not because I think it needs an errata in order to make it like, not because I think it needs an errata because it's too good and needs a nerf. I think it needs an errata to make it better and it needs to, my issue with that entire Ascension line, Spy Nymph into Spinosect right now, is the fact that Spy Nymph does not synergize with Spinosect. Spy Nymph, all it does, if it's destroyed in battle, you target the Elestral that destroyed it, make Spy Nymph an artifact empowering that Elestral, giving it 0 attack. That does not synergize at all with Spinosect. If it had a thing where, like, if you ascend this card into Spinosect, it either becomes an artifact buffing the Spinosect, or the Spinosect gets an additional ability. Something like that. That's sort of what I was kind of hoping for. So I'm really hoping that if we are getting a Spinosect, Nexus form, that these effects synergize with each other. Let's hope.
Defense with a
1 in 5 though, like that.
Celestial effect. You can expend a Frost Spirit to move your Rhynymph from your Elestral row to your row.
Oh!
You don't have to enchant it again. You just move it to that row. It then becomes an artifact rune empowering an Elestral of your choice, so it can be any Elestral on the field, yours or an opponent's, and it has the effect the empowered Elestral is suppressed and gets -2 defense. So you can cast your Rhine Nymph out, expend a spirit, move it to your rune row, empower something, drop its defense by 2, and then ultimately suppress it and turn off its effect.
This is a very, very cool effect. I don't think it's super good, but I think it is very, very cool. The fact that it suppresses the Elestral is very, very good. This can be used to obviously turn off protection effects. So maybe if you have like an Earthquake or Resting on Your Laurels in hand or something, you can, and something on your opponent's field has advantage. I just played D&D yesterday, and I got the D&D still in me. But if they have protection, then you can do this and then cast that. The issue with this is I think it's a little slow. This does use your normal cast, and you're going to be completely open to anything on your very next turn. It has some potential, especially with it being a 5 defender, but I don't think it's going to be something that a lot of Frost decks play.
This
But
may not seem all that
maybe.
crazy in itself. It is a new tool for Frost, and it can do
We'll also
work,
see
but its
some, like,
real bread
ascensions and
butter
stuff.
Is showing off its ascension.
Yeah.
One of the coolest designs we've done.
Okay, I'm
Rhino Sect. I am so pumped about Rhino Sect.
Okay.
8 attacker with 5 defense, 2 cost.
That is the complete polar opposite of Spinosect. Right now, does that in the Spinosect is a 1/9 that can attack in defense position. This is an 8/5, so they completely flipped that. They're like, nah, that effect sucks. Let's get rid of it.
This Rhino Sect can be special cast from your hand if you have a card that is a
that's sick.
in your rune row. So if Rhine Nymph ends up in your rune row, or Spy Nymph or Arrowmare as the other options to do so, end up in your rune row, you can just special cast this 8 attacker 2-drop from your hand. Then you can destroy an empowered Elestral. So if your Rhine Nymph is empowering their Elestral, you can just destroy them right out the gates, or you can use your brand new 1-cost Bow of Apollo to empower them and ultimately destroy them with Rhino Sect as well. And absolutely.
This is exactly what I wanted, dude. This was the issue with Spy Nymph Spinosect. Their effects didn't synergize. This is so cool. First of all, it's an 8 cost. It's not an 8 cost, sorry. It's an 8 attacker. Will this beat out Cryovern as the 2 cost of choice to be the beater of? I think it will, because you can very easily get this card out. You can even tech in like Spy Nymph. Spy Nymph is also a card that synergizes with this effect. And also it has an effect that allows it to target and destroy an empowered Elestral. That's even better considering we're getting a bunch of new artifacts. A lot of people are going to be playing a lot more of those artifacts. That's really sick. If your opponent has like a Golden Fleece on one of their guys, you can actually just target and destroy that Elestral, and then they'll protect it with the Golden Fleece, but you do deal with the Golden Fleece, and then you can attack over it to just destroy anyway. So this basically kind of is negates the Golden Fleece in a way, because you can destroy it even when they're empowered by the Golden Fleece. So it's interesting. This is a very, very cool card. I will definitely. So that I said before with oh my god, I'm so bad at this, guys. Is it Rhine Nymph? Rhine Nymph. I said before with Rhine Nymph, how I wasn't going to actually I didn't think I was actually going to play because I didn't think its effect was super amazing. This makes it worth it. And that is exactly what you want. A lackluster effect for a 1-cost Elestral that buffs up your 2-cost Elestral. That's the type of design that I was looking for with the Spy Nymph Spinosect, but Rhine Nymph Rhinosect, that's it. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Yes, love this design. That's so good.
And I cannot wait to see what you guys cook up. This is a card that is only going to get better over time, and I think Rhino Sect is going to make a big splash in Daybreak. But this next Elestral,
let's go. I love that.
To an entirely different level, a new play style.
Also should be noted, special cast it. Let's see though.
Capabilities, and that is Broomalinx.
Broomalinx, okay, 3/5. It's a Nexuser, okay.
Incredible stats.
A 3/5.
5 defense.
I'll take a 3/5.
Frost, and it does have a new Nexus effect for Frost Elestrals. You can Nexus up to 2 Frost Spirits. When you do, you can target a non-stadium rune. So that's any rune on the field that's not a stadium.
Yep.
If it's face up, you turn it face down, and all of the spirits on it go to the underworld. That rune cannot be cast as long as this Broomalinx is enchanted. This means you can target your opponent's Divine Runes, flip them face down, have them lose all their spirits, and be locked in place until they deal with this threat that is Broomalings, or you can simply lock down a face down rune that's already face down and prevent it from being cast.
Yeah,
this
so
Elestral is awesome. I am so pumped for Broomalings.
So, yes, this is good. I do really like the effect, but it's kind of what I talked about with Mudslide, that one episode when we talked about Mudslide. Mudslide, for anyone who does not know, it's a brand new Invoke rune. It's 1 Earth, 1 Water Invoke rune that disenchants 1 spirit from each of your opponent's face-up runes. That was not very good, in my opinion, for a couple of reasons. One, that is only going to be able to affect stadiums, artifacts, and divines. That's all it's going to affect. Now, I will say, if you can get that off on a stadium or an artifact, I think that's totally fine. Stadium, not too impactful, because if you just have a stadium in hand, you can deal with it just like that. But the artifacts, especially like Golden Fleece, giving you that protection, Mudslide is a way to just disenchant 1 from that to prevent them from actually having that that protection. You basically just you disenchant 1, it's gonna get destroyed unless it has an additional, like maybe you Nexus onto it. But maybe that's a strategy that comes out with a bunch of these cards like Mudslide, now Broomalinks. Maybe you no, you wouldn't Nexus onto it with Broomalinks. That doesn't make any sense. But it is really, really cool. How you can flip that face down, but I don't think that Mudslide effect was good against Divine Runes, because a lot of time the Divine Runes are going to have more than just 1 on it, and if they disenchant 1, you're cutting them off from a bit of a resource, but that stays on the field more than likely. This is sort of the polar opposite. This obviously non-stadium, so this is only going to be able to affect divines and artifacts. I think against artifacts, this could be very, very good, especially against the Golden Fleece. It's just another way to deal with the protection, while also you deal with the protection for a pretty limited, a pretty significant amount of time. They have to deal with this card in order to actually cast that again. So if you can just prevent that, that's awesome. And it also makes it so that they cannot use one of their Rune Row slots. But with the Divines, we're currently not seeing too much divine play. It's sort of like the exact same stuff. The Zeuses, the Demeters, it's all of that. Those are all still seeing play, and Zeus, especially with Thunder Nexus being the current best deck in the format, Zeus is obviously seeing the most play. We'll see. Obviously, when Daybreak comes out, Apollo is going to be a card that you can very easily counter with this, and that is going to be very, very good. But you do need to set it up. Once again, you need to set it up. Kione, not bad. I do really like Kione. In fact, I took it out of my Shiver deck. I'm probably going to put it back in, just because you really, really do need something to Nexus in that Shiver deck. And especially with this, you need something to Nexus with. If you don't have anything to Nexus with, then you're kind of screwed, you know? This has a lot of potential, though. This really does. It has a lot of potential to be really, really good. It turns it face down, and all the enchanting spirits are sent to the underworld. That is the part that I think is good. It flips them face down and sends them all to the underworld. So if your opponent basically has 3 or 4 spirits on a divine rune, you can flip it face down, and they basically just lose those 3 or 4 spirits. So that's really, really awesome. We'll see exactly how well that translates.
Links, and I think it's going to open the door for new strategies in Frost, some more defense.
And it's another Nexuser that I think is actually better than Frigid Cup, because it is Interruption.
Which has been more Frost, and speaking of more Frost, I've actually got a brand new more Frost to reveal today too, and that is more Frost Bat form.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I was expecting, I guess the vote hasn't happened. We're getting another Morfrost. There's the fan creation of a new Morfrost form. I voted for Morfrost Chimera form. There's 4 finalists. I forget what all of them are. They're all really cool designs. I voted for the Chimera form. I think it looks the coolest, and I think it has the most potential to be kind of a boss Elestral form Morfrost. But yeah, let's take a look at the 5th Morfrost form. Let's see.
Right. This form was actually leaked in our How to Play guide.
Oh.
You guys have read it. Frostfall How to Play guide. Morfrost Bat form was.
Wait a minute. Hang on, I have a How to Play guide right next to mine, and I didn't really look through. Oh my god, it's right there. It's right there. Yeah, there's 5. If you guys go to page 44, right there, yeah. Wow. Okay. Interesting. I don't know how I didn't see this at all. I don't know why, but I just never bothered looking through. There's a fifth form.
This is gonna make Morfrost so much better. When this Morfrost bat is discarded, you can special cast a Morfrost that is not
Oh
from
man.
your underworld. You can play this.
I know exactly what this is for. He saw all the people being like, Morfrost Terraform, it ain't good. It ain't good. It's the only Morfrost we're not playing. It's his favorite Morfrost form. People are not playing it. It was like, not good, not good. Because it allows you to discard a Morfrost to negate an effect, I think, targets a Morfrost. A Morfrost Celestial on your field. If you discard Bat form, you get the special cast one from your Underworld. This is just a complete buff to the Terraform. I don't think people. I still, weirdly enough, don't think people are going to be playing Terraform that much. But there is a lot of potential.
You can discard Morfrost Bat as part of your Terror's effect.
Also, I find it very funny where it says when you can special cast a Morphoros that is not Bat form from your Underworld. Why would you cast a Bat form? This is a 1/1. Why would you cast Bat form?
You can special cast out another Terror or an Abominable or an Indus or something else. Morfrost Bat form being searchable by Lycan is huge. You can grab it out of your Underworld with Kione. I think this card is going to be nuts for Morfrost, getting a Resurgence once again in Daybreak and enhancing the strategy. And we are not done. No, we are not done. I'm still going.
I'm sorry. I feel like people are still going to not play Terraform just to spite him. I think people are not going to play it just to spite Dan. It's just like it's the only Morfrost form that's not seeing play just because it realistically just isn't a huge card for Morfrost. You don't really necessarily need that effect, and even when you do, you'd rather not have the discard of Morfrost. That's a way to basically have a way so you can discard a Morfrost, be totally fine with it. I just have a strange feeling people are not going to play that as spite. I don't know why, but I just feel like
we have a new Elestrals.
Also, yeah, should be noted here in the title, it says there's a sun and an ice, right here in the title. Sun and then obviously not ice. What the frick? Snowflake. That's what it is. God. Are we getting a Solar Frost? Maybe. I don't think. That might just be there because Daybreak, but we'll see.
That is Polzer.
Polzer? All right.
Also teased and leaked in a previous card art. If you guys remember Stellar Panzer from Frostfall, it was indeed facing off against a Polzer, which is a 2 attacker with 2 defense with a crazy effect, similar to Cryoling in a way. This Polzer gets +1 attack for each Frost Celestial in your Underworld. This effect cannot increase this Polzer's attack by more than +5. So that means for every Frost Celestial that is in your Underworld, this thing gets buffed up even further and can get buffed up to 7, but there's no drawback if you have more Elestrals.
There is potential. There is potential for this one.
With Polzer, Morolith, Avalanche, and send all of your Elestrals to the Underworld, or use this as a late game buff for your Morfrost deck. Because Morfrost relies so heavily on Abominable form, you can also throw a Polzer in there and have even more power. Lots of potential.
There is a lot of potential for this card. I feel like a lot of the time though, even with this, people are not playing Avalanche and Morolith just because a lot of the time sending those Frost Celestials to the Underworld currently is a bit of a detriment. There aren't really like that many Elestrals that care about Frost Elestrals, I should say, that care about the Underworld right now. Obviously, some of the Morfrost forms do, but a lot of times you rather just have them in your hand and maybe discard them off something else rather than trying to hope that you hit them from the top of your deck. But this is a way to get into a big guy. I don't really necessarily think you need a big guy in Frost. It doesn't hurt because they're currently kind of fiending for one. But I feel like having a card that is sort of inconsistent in what its attack is going to be isn't super amazing. So I'm not really looking forward to this card that much, but there is still a lot of potential. I gotta test it out a little bit just to see just exactly how much attack this can get up to pretty easily. Obviously, if you do pair this with Mountains of Boreas, it does go up an additional attack, so this could go up to an 8 attacker potentially, but we'll see.
In Daybreak. Now, obviously, I'm saving the best for last because we have one additional card to review for Frost, and this card is Chef's Kiss so strong. Not only is it a card that you're going to see utilized in Frost decks, but I think this is a card that's going to be splashed in other decks as well.
Okay.
And that is Cryoblast.
Cryoblast,
is
an
a new
invoke.
invoke rune that only costs 1 Frost. You can target an Elestral that is not Frost enchanted, and until the end phase, you give it -2 defense. And when that Elestral has 0 defense, you must destroy it. What this does is you play your Cryoblast, you drop an Elestral's defense by 2. If they only had 2 defense to start and they go to 0, they're gone. You destroy them right away. If they have more than 2 defense and you drop their defense stat by 2, you can then use other cards like Frostmite or Zeus to drop their defense even further and ultimately destroy them. Cryoblast serves as incredible Elestral mover for many of those high attack Elestrals like the 5 attackers like Nekruff and Lumaru, who we revealed recently, as they generally have low defense stats, so Cryoblast can pick them off the field.
That is fair.
An incredible removal tool for more Frost and all Frost decks alike.
So, the interesting thing about that, that is currently one of the issues with Frost. Also, I find it funny. He said he was gonna reveal 6 new Frost Elestrals. He revealed a rune right here at the end. But just also should be noted. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh no, is that Brumalinx? That's just Brumalinx, isn't it? Yeah, that's just a Brumalinx. Never mind. I was like, is that a new Elestral? No, that's just a Brumalinx. The black fur, like, is what kind of got me. Does it have black? I didn't think it did, but maybe it does. I guess maybe a little bit. It doesn't really look like it, but I guess maybe a little bit. But the interesting part about this is that a lot of the times, from what I've noticed, it is kind of difficult for Frost currently to deal with Elestrals that have big defenses. And when I say big, I mean, they don't even have to be that big. Like, 4 defense at times is high enough to prevent Frost from attacking over. And we've seen a couple of things in here that, like, can actually do that. Like, obviously, we've seen, God, I'm already forgetting these names. Rhynymph obviously gives it a -2 defense, so Cryoblast a way to potentially reduce that even further. We've obviously seen Rhinosect, now an 8 attacker that could potentially just very easily attack over that. Very interesting cards for that, but this one is even more interesting because it destroys the Elestral the moment they have 0 defense. And as he talked about with something like Frostmite gives it -5. You target an Elestral, give it -5. So if you cast this, give it -2, then give it an additional -5. That can deal with Elestrals that have 7 defense, which is insane. That is very, very crazy. I think, like, the best Elestral that has more than that seeing play right now is probably, like, Latagon, who has 8 defense. And that's just barely over. But this can basically deal with every single 1-cost Elestral in the game. And most of the time, if your opponent has playing like a beatdown deck, typically those don't have high defenses. Like, this can just... This is a 1 cost that can just immediately deal with a Viscerus unless they have full life forest stuff. And even if they do, you have obviously a bunch of new utility like your Rhynymph or like your Rhinosect, stuff like that, like your Frostmite, which isn't new but still is utility that you can use to give it that 0 defense and just destroy it. So it's an interesting removal card. It's something in comparison to something like Race to the Top. I don't think it's super amazing removal, but it is, at the end of the day, it is removal. And that's realistically all we can kind of ask for. A little bit of removal in this deck is not going to be that bad. But that is going to be interesting. Also should be noted, if you do the Cryoblast Frostmite thing, you can just immediately deal with an Estrab. It should be noted though, you can do that with just 1 Frostmite already. Your opponent just has their Estrabit. You cast your Frostmite, you give it -5 defense, and you just attack over it. Boom, done. But this makes it so that you can do that without having to worry about. This makes it you can do it without having to worry about your opponent's back row. So it is at least kind of interesting, but. I think that's going to be it. Let's see if we talked about it a little bit more. It's interesting, though. It is really, really cool.
It's going to be pretty big in Daybreak. 6 brand new Frost cards. I tell you what, Frostcasters, I hope you guys are excited.
So, talking about all of this, Rhynymph, Rhinosect, awesome. Those are sick cards. These cards are absolutely amazing. That's exactly what I wanted from the Spinnymph, Spinosect stuff. They're just effects that synergize with each other, and it's really, really cool. Also, an 8 attacker for Frost. should be interesting. Its special cast itself is really, really cool. Broomalinx, there's potential. I can see it being like sort of a replacement for Frigicub in a lot of decks. In fact, I think it will be a replacement for Frigicub in a lot of decks. In terms of everything else, though, Batform's cool. I just don't personally play Morfrost. I probably should, to be entirely honest. I just don't play I haven't played Morfrost for a while now, and I just don't think, I don't know. I just don't really, I'm not too interested in Morfrost. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because I saw Frigicub. I was like, this card's cuter than all the Morfrost, so I'm just going to play Frigicub. But apparently that was probably a mistake because Morfrost did just top at the last tournament. Pulsar, again, it's the card that I'm probably the least interested in all of these, but there is still potential in Frost for it to be a decent beater. And in Cryoblast, it's a removal. It's a little bit of a weird removal card, but it is at the end of the day removal, so we probably will be playing Cryoblast. But I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like the button and subscribe for more. Hope to see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.